Hello everyone, this is Brett and welcome to this week's episode of Friday on the Turntable. Today I'm going to be doing a feature that we use as a theme on one of our Saturday Night Music Club videos called First versus Last. And what it is it's comparing an artist's work from the very beginning to what their most current one. So their last one could mean that it's the last one of their career or just their most current release. So sometimes straight out of the gate an artist creates their absolute best work on their debut album. Other times an artist has just a steady stream of high quality stuff. Other times it's just up and down. And I think with the 5 artists that I'm featuring today, whom I greatly respect all of them, fall into one of those categories. As always, underneath the video in the description area, I will have a link to a Spotify playlist I created for this video. It's going to have 3 songs from each album, done chronologically for each artist, so you can get a glimpse of their early stuff versus their later stuff. So look for that down below, and let's get started. Alright, so kicking things off here with Jane's Addiction. This is their live debut album. This came out in 1987 on the XXX label. And we're comparing it with 2011's The Great Escape Artist. The soundtrack to my high school years right here. One of my favorite bands growing up. This is the original lineup with Eric Avery on bass. And then The Great Escape Artist, which was produced by Rich Costey, who most recently did the brand new Death Cab for Cutie album. And it features Chris Chaney on bass and Dave Seatek from TV on the Radio. 3 favorite songs on this one. I Would For You, beautiful ballad, My Time, and 1%. Then we got The Great Escape Artist here. 3 favorite songs on this one: Irresistible Force, Curiosity Kills, End to the Lies. And one of the things I wanted to do in this video is do a versus, first versus last, and choose a winner here. By far, their debut album, by far, is the better record. What's your opinion on that one, guys? Leave me some comments. Now, by far the longest career, active career too, of anyone on this list is David Bowie. We're talking 1967, his debut album, versus 2013's The Next Day, so a span of 46 years. This record came just unannounced as a surprise 10 years after the previous record, Reality. So, David Bowie, speaking of a varied career of ups and downs, I mean, his sound runs the gamut. You know, you look at 1967's debut versus 10 years later, 1977's Low End Heroes, drastically different. You go to 1987's Never Let Me Down, so different from the previous decade. And then you go to 1997's Earthling, drastically different to The Next Day. His first album, my 3 favorite tracks on this one, There Is a Happy Land, Uncle Arthur, Silly Boy Blue. And then we have The Next Day. My 3 favorite tracks on this one are Where Are We Now, The Stars Are Out Tonight, and then Heat. I should also mention I did in the past, for those of you that follow regularly, album ranking videos, and for David Bowie I actually did 2 videos, a part 1 and a part 2. So be sure to check those out. They'll all be at the link down below. Alright, so who's the winner of self-titled 1967 or The Next Day? Several of you may disagree with me, and I look forward to hearing your comments on that one. His debut album from 1967 for me is the winner. Let me know what you think. So here's a band I followed right from the beginning of their career. This is the slowcore indie rock band from Duluth, Minnesota, known as Low. This is their debut album, I Could Live in Hope. It came out in 1994. There's my autographed copy. And then 2013's The Invisible Way. So we're talking a span of 19 years between the 2 records. Their sound has varied over the years. It's kind of, it's gotten more diverse. They started off their first couple of records very down-tempo, very slow. So I Could Live in Hope. My 3 favorite songs in this one: Words, which is my absolute favorite Low song, and it's the first one I ever heard back then. Slide is probably my second one, and then Lullaby. The Invisible Way, which came out on Sub Pop Records. 3 favorite songs in that one: Plastic Cup, So Blue, and Clarence White. Now, they have a lot of great records in their career, but for me, I have to choose a winner on this one. this is my favorite Low album. In addition to winning this little competition here, this is my favorite Low record, period, and one of my favorite albums probably. So let me know your thoughts on that one, guys. Low. Like I said, check out that playlist below if you're unfamiliar with any of these artists so you can experience some of their music. Alright, so now the only artist on this list that's inactive and quote-unquote retired, that's R.E.M. Started out with their, well, there's the EP that came out in '82 called Chronic Town, but we're talking about debut album here, and this is their first one from 1983, Murmur, and then this is 2011's Collapse Into Now. So we got a 28-year span between these two releases. R.E.M. had a pretty diverse career, lots of ups and downs. Murmur, 3 favorite songs on this one. Talk About the Passion, which is absolutely stunning. Sitting Still and Perfect Circle. And Collapse Into Now, I thought they ended on a really strong note with this one. Uberlin, great track on this one. Mine Smell Like Honey and Oh My Heart. Now, like Low, I have to compare the two. Murmur is the winner here and also my favorite R.E.M. album. Sorry to spoil that, but I do have an R.E.M. album ranking video which you can check out, which will be linked below as well. So let me know, guys, which do you prefer, Collapse Into Now or Murmur? Alright, last artist I'm going to look at today. There's a 29-year span between the two releases. 1979's 3 Imaginary Boys versus 2008's 413 Dreams. So we got 7 years since the last release here. So I'm hoping 2015 is going to bring some new things from The Cure. So like David Bowie, The Cure really evolved a lot. So there was 2 periods where there was such a drastic change, and each of those changes happened within the context of 1 year. And this is the picture disc of 3 Imaginary Boys. But from this one to their second album, 17 Seconds, within the context of a year, there was such a drastic change in sound, and that happened twice just a few years later when they released Pornography in 1982 and then Japanese Whispers in 1983, also both drastically different records. So my 3 favorite songs on 3 Imaginary Boys is the title track, 3 Imaginary Boys, 10:15 Saturday Night, and Accuracy. A lot more of a punkier, poppier record than what was to follow. And then 413 Dream, their most recent one, 2008. 3 favorite tracks on this one, Underneath the Stars. The Cure have always had a knack for a great opening to an album, and it spans all the way back to the beginning of their career. Second favorite track, The Hungry Ghost, which is excellent, and then The Only One. So I have to put the 2 up against one another, and I also did a Cure ranking video too. So be sure to check that out as well. I won't spoil what the winner of that one is. But if I have to choose a winner between these 2, by far 3 Imaginary Boys is the winner here. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm planning on doing this as a series, maybe a part 2 coming in the near future where I'll look at 5 different first and last artists here. So thanks for watching. I look forward to your comments and stay tuned for some cool upcoming videos.